It's another freezing cold day in the UK. There's ice on the grass, and this is a gainer flash tutorial. In the last tutorial I did, it was a backflip tutorial, and I've had a couple of requests for a gainer tutorial. And this is like a tricking gainer, not like a free running gainer. It's like a backflip off of 1 foot, technically. Some people will call it kick the moon, some people call it gainer flash. It's really quite simple. Tricks you need to be able to do this trick, I suggest that you can backflip. If you're already over backflip fear, this will make it much easier. It'll just mean that you'll be committed to trying it properly rather than just throwing it around the side. I suggest you learn to backflip, you get comfortable with it, and then you come back to this video. If you can backflip, then let's do this. The important things to think about with gainer flash is your J-step or setup. I mean, you can do it from different setups, but I'll be covering like the most common learner setup, which would be just a J-step, and then I'll cover how to do a gainer flash, and then some tips on how to make your gainer flash better. First thing you need to figure out is the setup. And we'll be doing a J-step today. J-step's pretty simple. When you first start doing it, you might find it difficult to get much power out of it. If you keep on doing it, you'll only get better at the J-step, and then you'll be doing double corks before you know it. So this is a J-step. So the main thing with a J-step is that you're technically drawing a J on the floor. But for me, and for a lot of others, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a J. It's more of like a semicircle. The last half of it is the most important half. The idea of the J-step is pretty much stepping out and then stepping in on yourself with a bit of this momentum. And the whole point of it is to turn horizontal momentum into upwards momentum and flip momentum. You want to step out there in a sort of half circle and then step in on yourself. So if I'm starting here, I'm going to be facing this way when I'm taking off. I'm stepping out here, stepping in on myself. Now that's quite small, that's a very small J-step. You can run into it if you want to. It doesn't matter how many steps you take, really. It just all depends on the shape and more or less your last step on how you turn in on it. I could go more into the J-step, but really you gotta just do it, figure it out. And it's really quite simple, and it'll only get better with time. But the most important thing, the number one tip with J-step, is that last step. You want to make sure you dig your foot in and sort of at an angle. You want it to be sort of like this. You want it to sort of be pointing this way, and then that puts your body in a position to go over yourself rather than keep on going this way. Because if you don't step in enough, then you're going to travel this way and you're going to lose a lot of your momentum. For the second thing, gainer flash, how to actually do the gainer flash. Some people might do this the other way, taking off the right leg and then landing on their left. If you take off your right leg, then just mirror everything I'm saying in this video. I'll explain everything as if you were taking off your left. There's two ways you can go about doing this. There's a way in which you can build it up by going over the side, and there's a way where you can pretty much do your J-step and just swing into an actual backflip. Both of these are sort of the wrong way to do a gainer flash, but there are two ways to learn it. Gainer flash is sort of that middle point of both of those. The less scary way is to build it up over the side, but I would suggest not doing that because it could mean that you develop a habit of never really flipping your gainer flash, and that's not a great thing for when you're doing corks and trying to do other things from gainer flash. So I would suggest learning the backflip way. That's the way I learned it. So this is going over the side. So if you do your J-step, now it feels stupid, and it's because it is, and it's easy. You just got to build it up. And then you can keep doing that and then keep leaning more and more back, and then eventually you'll just get less scared, and then you'll flip it a bit more each time, and then you should have a gainer flash. The other way to learn it, and this is the way that I would recommend that you do it, get comfortable enough with the backflip to the point where you can almost just do it from standing off of one leg. This is treating a gainer just like a swing backflip. What I just did there is technically much harder than a gainer flash. So you want to find that middle point of that and going over the side. And the way to do that is, so when you're taking off, instead of taking off like this, you don't want to be in this position. You want to turn your left leg in. You got to swing your left leg through. And you want your chest to be sort of facing the side almost. You want to be kicking towards your left ear. This is the ideal spot to be on. 45-degree angle, kick towards your left ear, and let your chest come up, and then kick right over just down there. You should be able to see the ground at almost every point of the flip, and that's kind of what makes it easier. If you hit all the angles right, then the gainer flash just sort of throws itself around. And lastly, how to make your gainer flash better. If you can already do one and you're just watching this video for the sake of it, maybe yours is too much like the backflip, or maybe it's too much over the side, or maybe it's just too low. Number one tip, your J-step. If you're really going wrong in your gainer, it's probably because your setup is not converting all the horizontal momentum into upwards and flip momentum. The issue probably is you aren't stepping in on it enough, so it's allowing you to travel too much to the side. Number two, you might not be pulling your chest up enough, you might not be using your arms enough. So as your legs coming up, you want to be lifting your chest and sort of arms with it. You want to be in this position. And just being in that position will help you get more height. And then I guess the last thing is really just letting your right leg pull you right through. Don't do it and then go limp in the air. Stay tight, pull your right leg through the whole time. If you get good momentum into the swing, just let your right leg take you all the way around. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There isn't too much to it, it's just a gainer flash. Very easy. Learn backflip, watch this tutorial, take some advice from it, learn it either way you want. I explained 2 ways to learn it. If you have a gym to train it in, then I would suggest that. Learning on wet, icy grass in the UK is definitely not the preferred way. Do what you gotta do and let me know how you guys get on. If you can't do a backflip, I'll put a link for that in the description. Like the video if this helped you in any way, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I'll see you guys then.
Oi! Come on!